Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to tap into some real fan reactions because the temperature around this team is starting to shift, and not in a small way. Coming into this season, the excitement was obvious. A healthy Caitlin Clark, a full offseason to build around her, and a chance for the Fever to actually take a leap. That's what people were expecting. That's what people were ready to invest in. But now, there are real questions, serious ones. When you look at how the front office and Stephanie White handled this offseason, it just doesn't fully add up. The roster construction feels off. Not just slightly off, noticeably off. You're trying to build around a generational point guard, and yet somehow the team ends up overloaded at that exact position. Even after bringing in Raven Johnson, they go out and add another undersized guard in the later rounds. At a certain point, you have to ask, what is the actual plan here? Because right now, it looks like half the roster is made up of point guards. And that raises a bigger question. Are they fully committed to building around Caitlin Clark, or are they trying to dilute her role? And fans are picking up on this quickly. There's also been a noticeable shift in tone when it comes to how certain players are being talked about versus Caitlin Clark. You hear phrases like ball dominant used in one context, but not applied where it very clearly should be. That inconsistency doesn't go unnoticed, especially by a fan base that's paying very close attention. Now, add in the online element, and things get even more intense. Different fan bases are colliding, expectations are clashing, and it's creating a pretty volatile environment. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about narratives, loyalty, and who this team really belongs to moving forward. And then you have the marketing side of things, which only adds fuel to the fire. A ticket promotion drops, and instead of building excitement, it creates controversy. Fans immediately start questioning why Caitlin Clark, arguably the biggest draw in the league, isn't front and center. Why is she in the background? Why does the visual hierarchy not match the reality of her impact? These details matter. Maybe not in isolation, but when you stack them on top of everything else, they start to tell a story, and fans are reading it loud and clear. What's interesting is that under normal circumstances, something like that might go completely unnoticed. But right now, every decision, every image, every quote is being scrutinized. That's where the Fever find themselves. Despite all of this, the team is still going to draw massive attention. The arenas will fill up, the viewership numbers will be strong. Caitlin Clark's presence alone guarantees that. But here's the part that shouldn't be ignored. There's a gap between what is happening and what could be happening. There are fans who are frustrated enough to start pulling back, even if it's not immediately obvious in the numbers. That's the real story. Not whether the team will be successful in terms of attendance or ratings, but whether they're maximizing what they have. Because when you have a player of this magnitude, good enough isn't actually good enough. And right now, a lot of fans are starting to feel like the Fever are leaving something on the table. Let's read these reactions. Okay, here's said biggest needle mover sports star in the world, and you put her on the edge in your photo. Absolute fucktards. Imagine if the Chicago Bulls had treated MJ like the Fever treats CC. I've hung in there for 2 years hoping the Fever weren't part of the social justice warriors movement to bring down CC, but they just refuse to acknowledge she is the reason. I was ready before yesterday. Now I'm thinking about spending that $40 WNBA League Pass money on half a tank of gas instead. Was hiding CC behind KM intentional? If so, you all are even more retarded than I thought you were. If I walked around any major city in America with a photo of KM, few would have a clue who she is. A photo of CC would gain instant recognition. Fever are absolutely clueless. Said, was planning my vacation to come from NC to see Caitlin Clark. Reservations canceled. What a load of dumb fucks running the Fever, drafting a racist piece of shit to blow up the locker room at 10. Idiots. Fire coach, GM, president, all the mentally challenged leadership. Why are you guys advertising Clark when you're actively trying to destroy her career? Please make that make sense. CC is the best point guard who ever played the game. Stephanie White is an idiot. CC needs the ball in her hands. We follow the Fever because Caitlin Clark is on the Fever. Are you guys ready? Because it looks like Stephanie was too busy with part-time jobs to do some scouting and draft pieces for the team. Instead, she was vacationing in Africa, coaching Team USA, and broadcasting college WBB. Instead of flying to Indiana from GA like we used to, we'll follow CC and team, but we'll start going to Dream Games. That coach GM got a good handle on their team. No way I'm watching if CC plays off-ball. FO. Fans want to see the best players ball out. 8 guards, 1 big, sounds like AB won't last 44 games. Shame you felt the need to get a one-dimensional guard in round 1. Not a need or the best available either. Well, apparently Fever FO either can't do math or thought they only needed 11 players on the roster, which they are required to have 12, because without even paying AB the max she has earned, they are basically capped out. Bitch, fuck off. All Fever fans do not support this organization until Amber and SW is gone. OMG. I was on a high when y'all signed Sophie, and I was just about to buy a ticket and renew my league pass until yesterday. You honestly still don't get what you have in CC. Absolute tragedy. Fire front office. Why is CC pushed into the shadow of Kelsey and not the center star that she is, holding the ball? You can't push CC to number 2 and think that will be supported. Most popular women's player on the planet, barely on your poster. Intentionally taking the ball out of her hands? The coach and front office either hate her or they're all incompetent. Either way, who's going to pay to watch? I refuse to support an organization that actively disrespects me. I just pray that CC waits up to your subterfuge and covert aggression. I hope that she busts out of the Fever like y'all are a bad infection. Stephanie White wanted to come to the Fever to mentor and help CC achieve greatness. Now she's doing all she can to sabotage her and the team by bringing her friends in to steal money and contracting a racist and a race hoaxer to the locker room to destroy the team. SW has to go. No, not ready to watch CC play off-ball. No, not ready to see anyone else but CC playing PG except when she's resting on the bench. No, not ready to watch that slow half-court offense. No, not ready to get frustrated with the way Stephanie White runs her offense. You guys have the best point guard in WNBA history, but you sign 100+ point guards and say Caitlin has to learn to play with them. WTF are you smoking? You guys need to build around Caitlin and fans will come, not build a team that looks bad on paper and on the court. Clark should leave now. You've got the dumbest front office ever. Best point guard in the league, Clark, and Cox and White get 2 more PGs in the draft and plan on playing the best passer and PG in the league off ball? The disrespect is ridiculous. I hope she leaves. I'm not spending my money on airfare, hotel, and tickets to watch CC play off the ball. I'll just watch it on TV, so when I see that BS happening, I'll turn it off. I mean, the Indiana Fever have been catching heat non-stop, and honestly, it's not just one thing, it's been building. They've been getting roasted from all sides over these moves. And look, you already know how this goes. There's that segment of die-hard Fever fans who are fully locked in, no questions asked. To them, Amber Cox and Stephanie White can do no wrong. The second you even hint at criticism, it's like you've crossed a line that should never be touched. Fuck no, I won't be flying over this year to see Clark off the ball. Why is Clark right in the edge of the picture, biggest female sort star in the world, and you treat her and her fans like dirt? You want the money, though. Front office should be fired. I won't support a racist like Johnson. Caitlin is the best point guard in the league. She has to have the ball in her hands. Do they really think that we watch the Fever for Kelsey Mitchell? Get real. Why is Caitlin Clark way in the background here? CC, please leave this idiot team. Fire Stephanie White. Looking at the current roster, starting to look like the Smurfs. No way to defend the big bigs. Only AB. Not enough. Not buying anything until FO and Stephanie White are gone. better question for you is, when will Stephanie and Amber leave? Until then, I'm staying home. Nope. In fact, quit texting or emailing me over the season ticket waitlist. I told your sales lady not after the way your organization treats your fans last year. Your security guard laid hands on my 76-year-old dad, and you claimed you never got any of my complaint emails. Fuck off. Can't wait for the GOAT to take her talents anywhere else. I stopped watching The Fever after CeCe's second injury last season. I'm good with being updated from my fave YouTube influencers. This league and front office is whack. Hell no. Poor Caitlyn landed in the Wizard of Oz, where the front office, coach, and owner are all a bunch of scarecrows, not 5 brain cells between the group. I'm out. I'm not paying these ticket prices to be called a racist by one of Dawn Staley's minions. Sports is supposed to unite our country. There is no uniting with people who create race hoaxes. Okay, I mean, for those of you wondering why I was so firm about that whole situation involving Dawn Staley and Gino Auriemma, it's because from the start I saw it as a complete non-story. Competitive coaches have heated moments all the time. That's part of sports. Emotions run high, words get exchanged, and then everyone moves on. That wasn't the issue. What I pushed back against was how quickly people piled on Gino as if he was the only one at fault. And let me be clear, I've never been a Gino supporter, but I'm also not going to sit here and pretend like one side deserves all the criticism while the other gets a pass. Then you look at what happened with Lisa Bloater. She made a comment comparing rebounding against a physical South Carolina team to a bar fight. That's a pretty common sports analogy, talking about toughness, physicality, battling in the paint, but somehow that got twisted into something much bigger. Dawn took it in a completely different direction and escalated it into something serious, implying intent that just wasn't clearly there. And this isn't the only time things like this have happened. The situation involving Duke and BYU volleyball, again, a massive claim, a lot of attention, and then later, after investigations, things didn't line up the way they were initially presented. But once the narrative is out there, it sticks. And when prominent voices step in early, like Dawn did, it amplifies everything before the facts are fully clear. That's the bigger issue here. Accountability and consistency. When accusations are made publicly, especially serious ones, there should be the same level of follow-up when things don't hold up. But too often, that part just gets brushed aside. And now, bringing it back to the current situation with Raven Johnson, you're already seeing how narratives start forming out of nowhere. People are overanalyzing every little thing, creating drama before anything even happens. That's how distractions begin, and if it keeps going, it could absolutely become a problem. Yes, I'm ready for Caitlin Clark to leave Indiana when her contract expires. You fumbled one of the greatest athletes in modern time. Remember Boston had Babe Ruth? This is how the Indiana Fever will be remembered. Good luck. Do you think I'm paying good money for a ticket to watch S. White destroy this team and put CeCe off the ball? You're crazy. Plus, we are charged more than anyone else to watch in this league. A lot of y'all weren't gonna attend a game anyway. I started watching the WNBA for the first time in my life because of Caitlin Clark. Her hard work, her excellence for the game, and her attitude for only being there to play the game and win. It was never about her. It was about helping her team to win. She is the Fever. Here said, whoever had anything to do with this photo needs to be fired. Total clown show. How about a big, fat fuck you? Caitlin leaves now. Here they go again, putting CeCe in the back and diminishing what she brings to the team. I've never seen Aja, Stewie, or Fee out in the back of a poster. You are the ones who weren't ready. You still don't know what you have in CeCe. 2 of the bummest draft picks ever. KM, the face of the team? Well, according to the Fever, probably how you kept her here. Still a weird franchise. This useless franchise still hiding Caitlin on their posters behind a role player? And why is Caitlin Clark in the background? Ask Amber Cox if she was ever ready to be the GM of the Fever. Her scouting looked questionable. Said, if y'all follow through with your plan to play CeCe off ball, have fun with the drop in ticket sales. Huh,
Why hide CC and AB behind KM? Better not include them in the picture at all. Shaking my head. Tone-deaf poverty franchise. Okay, I am done now. There is lots of more reactions. Look, fan are frustrated with Fever GM and head office, and mostly with Stephanie White.
And don't forget, this wasn't even that long ago, either last offseason or just recently, when the Indiana Fever were out here talking about being the Apple of the NWNB, acting like the spotlight was bigger than any one player, like it wasn't about Caitlin Clark. But then you turn around and look at what they actually did, and it just doesn't add up. They sent out a fan survey asking what could impact your fandom, and the first option listed was Caitlin Clark leaving the team. Think about that. What organization puts something like that front and center? You're basically admitting everything revolves around her while trying to pretend it doesn't. That's where the disconnect is for a lot of fans right now. The excitement is real. People want to watch, they want to support, but at the same time, there are definitely some reservations creeping in based on how things are being handled. So, I'm curious, where do you stand on all this? Are you all in, or are you starting to question things a little bit? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.